The story begins with a dark meeting between the villain Slade Wilson and the embodiment of death, Trigon. Trigon declares that the time has come for a prophecy to be fulfilled and a portal to be opened, coinciding with the alignment of the planets. In exchange for his wish, Slade promises to bring Jogging Raven's gems, which will release him from his prison. Meanwhile, an army of fire demons emerges from the ground. Later, Raven wakes up with mystical runes covering her body, realizing that it signifies Trigon's imminent arrival and fearing the end of the world. At the Teen Titans Tower, Raven decides to cook breakfast for the team, something unexpected. She presents them with burnt pancakes, which surprises everyone. Starfire questions the reason behind this unusual gesture, and Raven explains that she simply wanted to do something nice for her friends. Reluctantly, the team eats the pancakes, but they find them unappetizing, except for Starfire, who enjoys them as they remind her of food from her home planet, Tamaran. Realizing that breakfast didn't turn out well, Raven suggests hanging out with the others. However, Robin insists that they need to save the city. When they reach the city, they discover that Plasmus is causing chaos. Raven feels disappointed that their last day is spent dealing with a typical villain. Cyborg uses an entire building to attack Plasmus, sending him flying, but it doesn't knock him out. Plasmus retaliates against Cyborg, launching an attack. However, Cyborg fights back by blasting Plasmus. Unexpectedly, the fragmented pieces of Plasmus are drawn towards Cyborg, enveloping him and pulling him inside. Sensing the danger, Starfire swiftly takes action, flying directly into Plasmus and effectively freeing Cyborg from his clutches. When Plasmus attempts to attack them, Raven uses her powers to shield and push him back. Plasmus retreats momentarily but then tears apart a tanker and consumes its sludge to make himself stronger. Beast Boy attempts to distract Plasmus but ends up getting caught and covered in snot instead. Fed up with the situation, Raven decides to use her powers and explodes Plasmus from the inside, knocking him out. After a hard day's work, Raven invites everyone out for pizza, where they argue over who gets the last slice. Starfire wins the slice after voluntarily diving into the goo, which the others don't contest given her fiery enthusiasm. They continue to enjoy their day at the park. However, the team starts noticing Raven's strange behavior when she willingly agrees to Cyborg's invitation for Extreme Stank Ball. When questioned, Raven explains that she just wants to spend time with her friends. Suddenly, the sky darkens, and Raven loses her strength, falling to the ground. Upon seeing her glowing runes, Robin suspects that Trigon is approaching, indicating the end of the world. Cyborg carries Raven back to the tower, where Robin reveals a secret room they had prepared for such an occasion. Raven believes they are no match for Trigon and suggests they should run and save themselves. However, Robin insists they won't give up on her or the world. He explains that they need to keep Raven away from Trigon, as she is the portal for his arrival in their world. Cyborg assures her that he has installed the latest technology to keep her safe, while Starfire shows the runes they engraved into the walls, taken from one of her books, to ward off any threats. Although Raven appreciates their efforts, she doubts it will be enough to defeat Trigon. Before the day ends, Trigon informs Slade that it is time for him to fulfill his promise. While Raven initially sees fighting Trigon as pointless, witnessing her friends risking their lives for her makes her realize they may have a chance. Suddenly, Raven hears Trigon's voice in her head, claiming that she will always be a part of him. As she tries to resist and remove him from her mind, Trigon overpowers her and reminds her that she cannot deny the evil within her and what she is expected to do. Slade and his army of fire demons reach the Teen Titans Tower, but the Teen Titans stand against them, thwarting their plans. Robin confronts Slade but is easily overwhelmed by the new powers Trigon has bestowed upon him. While the others battle the fire demons, they find themselves outnumbered and struggling to hold them off. Fueled by anger, Cyborg decides to take matters into his own hands. He links up with the tower and channels its energy to unleash a powerful blast that eliminates the fire demons. Slade, although weakened, remains unharmed. He summons his fire demons once again, resulting in the capture of the Teen Titans. Just as Slade is about to deliver the final blow, Raven intervenes and demands the release of her friends. In exchange, she offers to go with Slade. Despite her decision to sacrifice herself, the Titans still try to save her. However, when they refuse to listen, Raven is forced to use her powers to knock them out. She willingly accompanies Slade to fulfill the prophecy. As they venture deeper into the sanctum, Slade boasts that everything has already been prepared for Trigon's ascent. Raven chastises him, calling him foolish for making a deal with Trigon and claiming that he won't deliver on his promises. Slade explains that Raven is a pawn in Trigon's game, but Raven asserts that they are both pawns who will ultimately become insignificant once Trigon achieves his goals. Enraged by Raven's insinuation, Slade attempts to harm her, but the fire demon turns against him, despite originally being under his control. Raven takes pity on Slade and orders the fire demon to spare him. She continues her journey without Slade. The time of the prophecy approaches, and Slade meets with Trigon once again to collect what was promised. Trigon reveals that he is not obliged to keep his promise, arguing that Raven returned of her own free will and delivered herself to him. Slade, however, insists that he fulfilled his part of the bargain and demands that Trigon honor his word. Trigon mocks Slade, amused that he tries to use his powers against the very being who granted him those powers in the first place. It becomes evident that if Trigon bestowed these powers upon Slade, he can also strip them away, which he promptly does. Slade is then discarded and cast aside after being exploited in Trigon's malicious scheme. On the fateful night when all the planets align and magic reaches its peak, Raven stands prepared to fulfill the prophecy that her destiny demands. Just as the moment arrives, the Teen Titans crash in, determined to stop her. The fire demons stand in their way, but Raven uses her powers to dismiss them. Robin tries to convince her to fight against her destiny, but Raven firmly believes that there is no escaping it now that she knows the truth. Raven explains that she had tried to control the darkness within her and perform good deeds, hoping it would somehow compensate for the terrible things she was destined to do. All she wanted was to give her friends the best last day together, but instead, she spent it consumed by her own worries. When Robin claims that true friends would never let her go, Raven hesitates and asks if they genuinely consider themselves friends. With a heavy heart, she uses her powers to create an unbreakable barrier between herself and the Titans, sealing them off. Despite the combined power of the Teen Titans, they are unable to penetrate the barrier. Raven proceeds to cast the incantation, fulfilling Trigon's prophecy and allowing him to cross over to Earth. As Raven's body transforms into a portal, Trigon's massive hand emerges from within, signifying his arrival on Earth. With a claim that Earth now belongs to him, Trigon unleashes his devastating powers, obliterating everything in an instant. Robin later regains consciousness in a desolated world, feeling the weight of his failure to save Raven. He realizes that everyone else has been turned to stone, further deepening his regret. Soon, Robin notices a raven following him and believes it to be Raven herself. He pursues the bird, eventually arriving at a tall building where he witnesses the destruction that has befallen the world. As the floor beneath him crumbles, he is saved just in time by Cyborg, who helps him back up. The Titans are reunited, and each of them shares a similar experience of being guided by a raven. Reflecting on how they survived while others did not, they suspect that it was Raven's doing. Amidst growing hopelessness, Robin insists that as long as they are alive, there is still a chance. They gather their resolve to continue fighting, placing their hands together in a show of determination. It is then that they discover they have been bestowed with new powers. Raven, despite being unable to stop Trigon, had left them her power so they could carry on the fight. Recalling their past experiences with Raven's powers, the Titans realize that their abilities grow stronger when they are united. While Trigon rests to recover his powers, the Titans launch a coordinated attack. When their individual powers proved ineffective against Trigon, the Titans decided to unleash their ultimate weapon, Raven's power. They channeled Raven's immense abilities, fueled by intense anger and determination, and launched a full-scale assault on Trigon. The attack initially seemed to have an impact on Trigon, displaying some level of effectiveness. He laughs at their efforts and effortlessly blows them away with only a fraction of his own power, seemingly unaffected by their assault. The Titans find themselves back at the place where they lost Raven, who sacrificed herself to save them. Beast Boy expresses a desire to leave, as the location serves as a reminder of the grim events that occurred there. However, Cyborg explains that there is nowhere else for them to go. Robin replays the events in his mind, and despite witnessing Raven vanish before their eyes, he feels as though she was never truly gone. Suddenly, a voice from the shadows confirms Robin's suspicion, revealing itself to be Slade Wilson. The Titans immediately launch an attack, but Slade does not fight back. He claims that he is not there to fight, but rather to help them save Raven. When he mentions that Raven can still be saved, Starfire charges at him and pins him against the wall. Slade explains that he regrets his alliance with Trigon and that even he would not wish for the same destruction to befall the world. While the Titans witnessed Raven being destroyed to become a portal, Slade clarifies that only a part of her existence vanished when she fulfilled the prophecy, and another part of her remains. Robin questions Slade's intentions, but he evades the question and redirects their focus to the task at hand, to save Raven. However, only one of them can undertake the journey. Beast Boy insists that they are all going because Raven is their friend, but Slade advises against it. He explains that Trigon is an all-seeing demon, capable of being aware of their actions at any time. To have a chance at success, the others must divert Trigon's attention while Robin accompanies Slade to bring back Raven. Cyborg expresses concern, citing their previous encounter with Trigon as evidence that they did not fare well. However, Slade assures them that their goal was not to defeat Trigon in that encounter, but rather to grab his attention, providing them with an opportunity to sneak in and rescue Raven. Slade provides the Teen Titans with the Ring of Azar, forged by the order that once imprisoned Trigon. He assures them that the ring will help them survive the fight against Trigon based on his own experience. Meanwhile, Robin follows Slade up a winding staircase, leading to the place where Trigon has crossed over. The remaining Teen Titans continue their mission to find Trigon. Beast Boy transforms into a small bird and enters Trigon's ear, then morphs into a whale, causing Trigon great discomfort with a headache. Starfire hurls Cyborg at Trigon, who retaliates with a focus laser. However, Trigon deflects it back at Cyborg. Enraged by the sudden attack, Trigon unleashes his powers against the Titans. However, the Ring of Azar protects them, just as Slade had promised. Considering the fight beneath him, Trigon instead decides to draw out the darkness within the Titans to create doppelgangers that possess their faces and powers. He claims that they are their own worst enemies. Beast Boy engages in a battle with his doppelganger, each trying to outdo the other in transforming into monstrous creatures. Cyborg's fight against his doppelganger becomes a power struggle between machines, with the evil Cyborg taking advantage of the 35 weak spots he claims to have discovered. He mocks Cyborg, mentioning his lack of a mother, but Cyborg refuses to be defeated, rising back up and unleashing all his weapons. Starfire's battle takes to the skies, with both her and her doppelganger fiercely attacking each other. The evil Starfire taunts her, mentioning her distraction and concern for Robin, and threatens to reveal his location to Trigon. Starfire charges at her, but the evil counterpart ultimately overpowers her. The evil Starfire mentions that she reminds her of her sister before continuing the fight. After Starfire breaks free from her evil doppelganger's grip in a fit of rage, she sends her flying with a powerful punch. As they continue on their mission to save Raven, Robin ponders what could have driven Slade to work with Trigon and suspects that he sold their world for personal gain. Slade, however, keeps his reasons to himself, claiming that not everything is black and white. Suddenly, Trigon's fire demons surround them, and Robin and Slade are forced to fight their way through. They fight side by side, covering each other's backs against the overwhelming numbers. Slade reassures Robin that it's nothing that two friends can't handle, but Robin objects, stating that they are not friends. During the battle, Slade is pulled to the edge of a platform and nearly falls into the lava. Robin comes to his rescue, realizing that he needs Slade's help to save Raven. Together, they break through their enemies. One of the demons tries to attack Robin, but Slade dodges the attack and leaves Robin to fend for himself. Slade claims that old habits die hard. In a moment of vulnerability, Slade's mask drops, revealing his skull and bones. Robin is shocked by the sight and wonders what Slade has become. When Robin presses him for answers, Slade dismisses his curiosity, explaining that it was just a temporary condition. However, Robin insists on knowing the truth or facing the enemies alone. Slade reveals that he became undead after a confrontation with his former apprentice, Terra. He fell into smoldering lava during the altercation but was unexpectedly saved by Trigon, the interdimensional demon. Trigon offered to return his body to its original state in exchange for Slade's obedience. Slade admits that he enjoyed the benefits of the new power and the army of fire demons that came with it. However, when it came time to collect his reward, things didn't go as planned, and Trigon betrayed him. That is why he is now helping them save their friend. As they come to a fork in the road, Slade tells Robin that this is where they part ways because he has other matters to attend to. Robin warns Slade that helping them doesn't change anything and that if they meet again in the future, he will show him no mercy. Slade agrees, and Robin continues his journey alone to save Raven. When fire demons surround him, Robin manages to defeat them all single-handedly. He then arrives at a ruined church and notices a faint presence moving in the shadows. He follows it and discovers a scared young Raven who has no memory of him. After being defeated by Malevolent Starfire questions why they persist in their efforts when it is futile, considering the world has already ceased to exist. Starfire rises again and persists in the battle, but her malevolent doppelganger proves to be more formidable, causing her to succumb once more. Trigon asserts that their fruitless endeavors amuse him, despite the Ring of Azar shielding them from his influence. He elucidates that it is superfluous since they are on the brink of being conquered by their inner demons. The Teen Titans find themselves pushed back against their evil selves, unable to overcome their counterparts. Beast Boy expresses his exhaustion, but Starfire explains that they must keep fighting in order to keep Trigon distracted. Their rescue mission is later revealed to Trigon by the evil Starfire, but he claims to have known about it even before they began. He dismisses their plan as inconsequential, stating that they have underestimated his power. Trigon admits that Raven still exists in some form, but the Raven they once knew is lost forever. Whatever remains of her is merely a shell. Despite the Titans' best efforts, they are no match for their evil counterparts. In light of this, Starfire suggests that if they are unable to defeat their doppelgangers, perhaps they can defeat each other. Upon Cyborg's signal, they switch opponents. Starfire charges at the evil Cyborg, Beast Boy attacks the evil Starfire, and Cyborg takes on the evil Beast Boy. After defeating their evil doppelgangers, Trigon stands up and launches an attack against them. He claims that their fighting is meaningless and only prolongs the inevitable outcome. Using his powers, Trigon summons an army of fire demons and sends them to attack the Titans. Meanwhile, Robin tries to calm down the young Raven, assuring her that he is a friend and doesn't intend to harm her. However, she remains fearful and runs away, hiding in a crevice in the wall. When Robin tries to approach her, she kicks him and flees once again. Robin catches up to the young Raven and continues his attempts to make her remember him. She expresses her feeling of being lost, but Robin encourages her not to be afraid and offers his help. After much convincing, the young Raven agrees to go with Robin, and he carries her on his back, hoping that it might jog her memory. During their journey, Robin tells the story of Raven and their adventures as Teen Titans, describing her as brave and intelligent. He explains how she used to distance herself from others due to her fear of the darkness within her. As they climb a wall, the lava splits apart, and a horde of fire demons flies towards the portal, causing the ceiling to collapse. Young Raven falls off Robin's back, but he jumps after her, saving them both. After the near-death experience, young Raven asks Robin why he would go to such lengths for her. Robin suspects that she may have regained some of her memories, and she confirms this. Although Raven remembers bits and pieces from before she became the portal, it feels like a nightmare to her. Despite Robin's hopefulness, Raven insists that nobody can stop Trigon, believing that she has lost her power since Trigon was done with her. Robin explains that even in the face of the world's end, the Teen Titans are still fighting. Raven feels helpless without her powers, but Robin comforts her by saying that he will carry hope for both of them. Meanwhile, Slade reaches the deepest parts of Trigon's world, where he encounters a large steel door guarded by a sentinel wielding a giant axe. The guard tells Slade that his journey ends there and what he seeks cannot be reclaimed. Slade, having nothing to lose at this point, engages in a struggle with the guard. Eventually, he throws the guard into the lava. As Slade approaches the door the guard came out of, the guard emerges from the lava unharmed. Slade is ready for another round, but the guard manages to graze him with his axe. Unbeknownst to the guard, Slade had planted a bomb on the door, which he detonates when the guard is against it. The explosion causes Slade's body to return to normal, and he gains a new weapon, fully recovering his powers. Meanwhile, Trigon cuts a rift in the sky, sending his army to conquer other worlds. The Teen Titans are pursued by Trigon's fire demons, and as they try to fend them off, Robin arrives and saves them. Robin explains the situation with Raven to the team, and Cyborg expresses concern that Raven may not be able to help them. However, Robin insists that they must fight and prepares the team for one final attack. Beast Boy finds reassurance in the thought of having the Ring of Azar to protect them, but Starfire reveals that it was broken in the last attack. Robin talks to Raven, discussing their last stand against Trigon. Suddenly, Trigon appears, and Robin leads the team in an attack. However, Trigon easily overpowers them with his powers. Unexpectedly, Slade shows up with the axe he obtained from the guard he fought earlier and manages to cut off one of Trigon's horns. The final battle with Trigon commences, and the Teen Titans and Slade give it their all. Slade himself participates in the battle, asserting that he doesn't serve anyone. Raven, witnessing Trigon hurting from the attacks, is in disbelief as it contradicts what she was led to believe. In a fit of fury, Trigon unleashes his powers on the team, incapacitating them all. Raven sees her unconscious friends and runs to Robin, pleading for him to wake up, but he doesn't respond. Trigon notices Raven and prepares to attack, but Raven unintentionally creates a shield to protect herself and Robin from Trigon's assault. Shocked that Raven still has her powers, Trigon claims she is no threat to him and asserts that she exists to serve him. However, Raven defies Trigon, attacking him with her newfound power. She confronts Trigon, stating that fathers are supposed to be kind and protect their children, unlike him, who manipulated and used her. Raven explains that the monks of Azeroth protected her and that her friends, the Titans, raised her. She considers the Titans her family and Earth her home. Raven banishes Trigon, declaring that he is not welcome. Using her powers, Raven unleashes a bright light that envelops everything, restoring it to how it was before Trigon's destruction. When the light dissipates, everything returns to normal, and Trigon is gone. The Titans are still in disbelief over Raven's new powers, but Raven herself claims that it was thanks to Robin who believed in her and encouraged her to persevere and accompany him. As she hugged Robin tight, Beast Boy questions whether Raven is still the same person they once knew, considering she is hugging and smiling. In response, Raven assures him that she is indeed the same person they know but warns him not to expect her to smile often since she still doesn't find him funny. Upon hearing her candid remark, Beast Boy immediately returns the embrace. Back at Titan's Tower, Cyborg offers to cook for the team after their hard day's work. Starfire tries to be funny, and both Cyborg and Beast Boy find it amusing. After informing Robin that Slade managed to escape, Raven expresses her disbelief. However, Robin assures her that they will be prepared if Slade ever re-emerges. Curious, Raven confronts Robin, questioning how he can maintain such optimism despite the recent events. In response, Robin reveals that he draws inspiration from Raven herself, considering her the most optimistic person he has ever encountered. He explains that despite being told from birth that she was destined for darkness and unspeakable acts, she defied that fate and aspired to be a hero. Later, Raven and Robin join the rest of their group to enjoy some lighthearted activities. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon to be notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.